So I spent last night at Punch Bowl Shelter, and it was supposed to rain all night long, 90% chance, but it didn't. Not that I'm complaining. I was in a shelter anyway, just to be sure. And that was great. So I'm up on the Punch Bowl Ridge here at Bluff, B-L-U-F-F Mountain. Got our first spruce. That's pretty wild. Don't get very many spruces up here. Maybe it's a fir. No, I think it's a fir. Well, somebody else will know. But it's the first change in coniferous trees. Gives you an indication of how tall we are. It's really cool to see the changes in the weather. The hot, humid air trapped down below, kind of the cool mid-layer, and then a warm front coming in from the south up on top. Going to make an interesting day, probably drizzle I imagine later on. All I know is I got about 11 miles to get out of here, and I'm going to go to a hostel and get out of this funk. Wow. One thing I do want to note, the ferns are starting to change, and so fall is definitely coming. And I got forewarned last night by some of the people at the shelter. I was talking to a guy who's hiking southbound named Pete. He's been hiking since March 30th, hiking north at 8 miles a day. Don't think he'll make Katahdin this year, but he's plugging away. Anyway, he says that the chiggers are just terrible from this point forward, going south. Lovely. Hey, at least it's not yellow jackets, right? Got to think on the positive end. Well, one last thing, I'll show a picture in a second. I didn't get a picture of Pete, but I did get a picture of Starling and her friend Carter. Got a chance to share the shelter with the three of them last night. It was a lot of fun having a chance to visit with new people and make some new acquaintances and all. Kind of fun. Well, it's time for everyone's favorite game, Dendrology today. Yay! Hey, this little tree that's really having a hard time struggling along, and it is the only one I can see anywhere around. This is actually a hemlock. Hemlocks are actually struggling a good bit here in the east. There's an insect, of course, imported, of course, that eats it. So it looks like any other evergreen. You know, you just zoom in and go, hey, yeah, that's just, it looks like an evergreen. But if you flip it upside down, and you look at it carefully, it has racing stripes. Check that out, racing stripes underneath the leaves. I guess the way to remember that is that hemlocks race to get to the sun. They only grow usually in deep, rich soil where it's pretty moist. So I don't know what it's doing up here on the top of the mountain, but hey, it's really cool to see. That's the first hemlock I've seen in 240 miles. Well, boy, you all are in for a treat. That's right. We're going to play Name That Tree, Dendrology tree number 2 for the day. Yay! Hey, this is a sassafras tree behind me. And, you know, fall is coming, as slow as it is. It's only about 75 today, and I really like that. It's Sunday, September 10th, I think it is. But just check out that beautiful tree there. That is starting to turn red underneath there. And we're going to zoom in a little bit here and see if we can't learn a little bit about how to identify this. So this tree has got 3 lobes on it. And then it has other leaves that only have 1 lobe. And if I look carefully, I should be able to find one that looks like a mitten. Well, I can't find the mitten. But anyway, you get the general idea. It's pretty cool. And yes, you can dig up the roots and you can make sassafras tea out of it. I've never had it, but hey, it sounds great though, doesn't it? Somebody hunting down below or testing their gun or whatever on a Sunday morning. Hey, whatever. You know, when you're out and about, stuff like that just kind of happens. Well, I've made it almost. I'm near the town of Glasgow, Virginia. I am 4 miles from the James River Bridge. And wow, looks like there's a fair amount of water in the James from up here. Of course, I'm standing on a cliff. No, I won't back up, but Yeah, you know, kind of exciting there. Yeah, I'll be careful not to fall. Anyway, yeah, it's been a great walk so far. Great day for it. You know, mid 70s, light rain. Hey, headed to a hostel. Gonna get to Stanimals. What a name for a hostel. Theoretically, they're gonna pick me up, but they haven't answered the phone yet today. We'll see. Might hope it works out. So I've got about a half mile left walking down Rocky Row Run. No, I won't say that 3 times fast, but it's great. There's a little water in there. I see some little 3-inch fish. Pretty cool. And the trail is right along the bank, which is nice for the last half mile. So I put in 11 miles today, be an 11 and a half mile day when I get to the road here at the James River. And yeah, it's not too bad. It's 12:30, so pretty happy about that. It was easy hiking mainly downhill, but of course that has its own issues because you know, now I got some new blisters I didn't have before, but hey, that's okay. You know, I really thought I was done with the blisters, but I guess not. We're still along Rocky Run Creek. Look at this beautiful flower. It's got its own little caterpillar on it. I have no idea what it is. I don't mean the caterpillar, I mean the flower. Wow, very pretty. Sure the hummingbirds are gonna like that. Hey, so what happens to your day when your shuttle guy that you had arranged for 3 days and you call today to confirm doesn't pick you up? Well, you got to come up with plan C or D or E or God knows what. So anyway, I hitchhiked and I have managed to make it all the way to Lynchburg. Yay! Yeah, 15 miles from where I'd like to be, but hey, that's where the only woman who would pick me up, the only person who would pick me up, brought me. Happy to do that. I made it to Quality Inn, decided, hey, let me go outside. You know, I'll go get, you know, I'll go to Kroger, I'll get my resupply. I got 5 days on the trail. Awesome. Oh, and then it rains. I'm so lucky. You know, I didn't even have to take a shower, all cleaned up now. How about that? Well, hopefully Uber will come through tomorrow and get me up where I need to be. We'll see. Wish me luck.